for us personally, it was a massive unlock when we saw our Zora creator coin in the Coinbase app. I got into crypto through Coinbase in 2014. And it was like, to see your coin listed there among everything else was just like a massive unlock. It was such a cool moment for me personally, but just I know for other creators out there, it's the same thing.
I think that this is really the role that we have the opportunity and the responsibility to play, which is that because Coinbase has been this trusted gateway to crypto since basically the beginning, when it comes to new technologies like creator coins, we have an opportunity to legitimize them and to show people, hey, yeah, maybe this can feel scary because it's early, just like people were nervous about the internet when it's early, but actually this has a massive potential to do good for creators. By bringing kind of the Coinbase approach and the Base approach of we're going to be trusted, we're going to make it safe for people, we're going to make it easy to use, we can legitimize this thing. And I think it's really, really important to legitimize it because candidly, there's a lot of stigma that's still associated with this idea of creators being empowered on chain with these new technologies. I think the more we can get rid of that stigma and we can replace it with tools that empower creators to use these new systems in a way that's positive sum for them, positive sum for their fans and their community, I think the better off we're going to be as a world.
Are you stuck holding NFTs that went to zero? Harvest.art is the original tax loss harvesting service for NFTs and tokens that will buy anything when nobody else will. Over 200,000 NFTs have been sold to the farm since 2021, helping users realize losses of more than $30 million. Sell your junk at harvest.art. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Coinage. I'm your host, Zach Guzman, coming to you live from our Brooklyn studios here in New York City, making history today. After what has been, honestly, it's been almost 4 years in the making here, but now, finally, a huge moment as the world in the creator economy, basically the whole entire world, as we've been talking about for a really long time, coming on chain. And who better to have on our first live Zora stream here and syndicated across all of our other channels. Exciting to finally have the man back on Coinage, Jesse Pollak, Base Builder 001. Jesse, it's good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, this is a huge show and a huge time, I think, for the Base ecosystem just in general, because not only is Zora cranking with bringing creators on chain and their fans on chain, but also we're talking about it live on Zora, on chain, and some big announcements to get into. But first, I just want to start with you because it's not just that, it's also what you've been pushing for on the Coinbase side as well, as Zora creator coins get listed in there. Just a lot to get into. I mean, what is this moment like for you as we're finally getting there, I think?
Well, it's an exciting moment because, I think we've been talking about how do we start to re-platform these legacy systems, whether it's the financial system or the creator economy or the way small businesses work for many, many years. But it feels like just in the last few months, all of the technology has finally started to come together and the product experiences are actually getting good enough for creators to use them. And so, we've had Base rapidly scaling. We've had creator coins really starting to take off. Today, we launched creator coins in the Base app, which will be rolling out slowly over the next few weeks, making sure that people can get a creator coin in a safe, trusted way that allows them to earn and kind of share in that earning with their communities. And it's all happening in a decentralized, open, composable, easy to use way. And I think that's it's not something that I think we've seen in the last decade of crypto, all of those technology pieces coming together in a place that people can actually use. So I'm super fired up about it.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, obviously for me, and just kind of manning the stream right now, this is all new for me. It's a crazy world we live in now, having come from Yahoo Finance as an anchor. Now I guess I'm a live Zora streamer, and that's kind of how this is going. And I think it's the forefront of where I think any creator is going to be coming. And I think it's so early, man. It's wild to think that people are just kind of starting to wake up to the Zora mechanics. But for you, Jesse, I mean, in terms of how you've been even internally at Coinbase talking about this stuff, I imagine it's got to be hard to think about, hey, no, we're actually going to do this on chain. And Lord knows, you and I were at ETH Denver, I think 2 years ago before Base was live. How has it been in terms of internally saying, no, we need to do this?
I mean, I think it's a process, right? When we were starting building Base, we didn't know what we were building. It took us like 3 iterations to figure out, the first thing we're building is a chain. And then the whole Base journey has kind of been emergent in the same way, where every quarter we're like learning about what's possible in this new internet that we're building. And then we're trying to, as quickly as possible, take those learnings and apply them to the products that we're building and the experiences that we're trying to deliver to builders and creators and traders to make it so that they can actually benefit from those learnings. And I think the work we've been doing on the creator economy, candidly, I think it's been something that people have met with skepticism, both inside of the business, but also outside of the business. I mean, you look at the last 9 months, I can say with a very straight face that it has not been easy to be kind of pushing the limits of things like creator coins and content coins and bringing the creator economy on chain. There's been a lot of pushback, a lot of negativity. But I think for us, we always come from a place of being mission driven. We want to build a global economy that increases innovation, creativity, and freedom. And when we think about building that global economy, one of the most important segments is creators. There's 250 million creators all around the world who want to be creating for their full-time job, but the existing system doesn't work for them. It locks them into these walled gardens. It doesn't let them earn money. It doesn't let them have this kind of flexibility of their tooling. And we want to do better because we think that that's what crypto is all about. And so even as there has been skepticism, even as there continues to be skepticism, I think our attitude has been, we're going to stay grounded in that mission. We're going to stay hungry to learn, and we're just going to keep iterating. And we're going to keep taking feedback, and we're going to keep finding ways to give creators and builders and traders better tools to participate in this new economy.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too, because obviously, you're somewhat preaching to the choir, and you and I have definitely talked about this, so we know it. We know that this is kind of where the creator economy is heading because, we've been tweeting about it, you've been retweeting it, but to me, it blew my mind in terms of what is really happening here is giving a creator essentially their full stack. And the way that we've looked at it is really like what has happened, and why I even quit my job at Yahoo, quite frankly, is that like what Bitcoin did to finance disintermediated money. And it allowed people to accrue the value of using Bitcoin. It was the users that accrued the value who held the tokens powering the network. And over here in the attention economy, otherwise known as the creator economy, it's pretty insane to think that the same exact thing happens for YouTube, for Meta. You go in there, you make a bunch of content, they sell ads against it. They take the majority of all of the money. And creators are left there basically like, I get scraps. And now, finally, what's happening and why I'm so excited about it, and again, Coinbase doesn't pay me to say this, but what I'm excited to see is that finally, like for us personally, it was a massive unlock when we saw our Zora Creator Coin in the Coinbase app. And I know you know this because I tweeted about it. It was like, I got into crypto through Coinbase in 2014. And it was like, to see your coin listed there among everything else was just like a massive unlock. And it was such a cool moment for me personally, but just I know for other creators out there, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and I think that this is really the role that we have the opportunity and the responsibility to play, which is that because Coinbase has been this trusted gateway to crypto since basically the beginning, when it comes to new technologies like creator coins, like bringing the creator economy on chain, we have an opportunity to legitimize them. And to show people, hey, yeah, maybe this can feel scary because it's early, just like people were nervous about the internet when it's early. But actually, this has a massive potential to do good for creators and for investors. And I think you can't do that willy-nilly. And that's why sometimes we move a little bit more slowly than other platforms. But I think by bringing kind of the Coinbase approach and the Base approach of we're going to be trusted, we're going to make it safe for people, we're going to make it easy to use, we can legitimize this thing. And I think it's really, really important to legitimize it because candidly, there's a lot of stigma that's still associated with this idea of creators being empowered on chain with these new technologies. And I think the more we can get rid of that stigma and we can replace it with tools that empower creators to use these new systems in a way that's positive sum for them, positive sum for their fans and their community, I think the better off we're going to be as a world. And I really think this is what's starting to take shape on Base. I was tweeting about this yesterday because I said the revolution will not be televised. It's going to be streamed on chain. And someone replied to me who has like 500,000 followers on Twitter, and she said, "Hey, like I'm really interested in a creator coin, but I'm nervous. And like, what are you guys doing to make it so that this works for me?" And there were 3 things, or I guess 4 things that I said to her that I think are really why Base is going to work for creators. The first is that there's a whole lot of really easy to use creator products on Base that make it easy to get started. This is things like Base App, obviously, but Zora, Barcaster, Paragraph, Pods, Retake, Vibe Market. All of these are tools for streaming or posting short form video or podcasts or writing that look and feel like Web2 products, but are built on chain. And I think that ease of use is really only happening on Base, where you actually have creator tools that are better than the existing Web2 products. So that's the first thing, easy to use creator tools. The second thing is a safe and equitable and well-designed creator coin model. And this is the idea that every creator can have a coin that represents their creativity. And that it's going to be something that they kind of gradually build around with their fans and their community and their content. And we've worked with Zora to create a model that we think is really well done and fair, where the coin vests to the creator over time. They vest out 50% of it over 5 years, which limits the risk of them kind of not knowing what to do with it. It lets them kind of gradually build up ownership. And the remaining 50% is put into a single side liquidity pool that lets the market kind of value the creator and participate in the shared ownership as well. And so that creator coin model, I think, is the second thing. The third thing is the content coin model, which I think there's been a lot of skepticism about. But the easiest way to think about it is that content coins let all of your content drive value back to your creator coin. Whether it's a short form video or a text post or a stream or a blog post or a podcast, by coining that piece of content, you can actually have that drive value back to your underlying creator coin. And that's this really powerful flywheel that I think you guys are experiencing firsthand, where the better content you create, the more you're actually going to accrue value to your underlying long-term creator coin asset. And so that's this third thing that I think is working really well on Base. And then the fourth thing, I think, is just the community here. There are so many people who are ready to lift up creators and are ready to support them as they experiment with these new tools and try and figure out how can they build a better livelihood with their creativity in this new economy. And I think that attitude of we are going to win together and we are going to lift up people at the edge, I think that is something that is very unique to Base. It's something that's making people buy and hold these creator coins for the long term. And I think it's something that's going to make a ton of creators feel like their first experience on chain is actually awesome, not scary, not something to be afraid of. And so those four things, the easy to use products, the powerful, safe, trusted creator coin model, the flywheel that comes with content coins, and then the based community that's ready to back you. That's why so many creators are finding the new home on Base today.
You just hit on a lot, Jesse. And to be honest, we just put out a full episode in terms of our experience launching ours. And we were in that camp. We're obviously skeptical. That's kind of like what Coinage comes from is, we test things out. We see what happens. It's the same thing. When it was just content coins, I was like, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work. And then the creator coin stuff came out afterwards. So it was a slow little reveal over on the Zora side. And it was like, okay, here's how the pairing works with the content coins paired to the creator coin. And that to me was a huge change, because coming from the content world, that's not generally how like Web2 social even worked. It's like you don't really like posts. You might like posts, physically like them, but you have a connection with the creator is the main thing that people want to buy or support or see grow. And so that was a huge unlock, and that was where the light bulb moment for us here at Coinage went is, okay, we gotta be involved over here. And then, as I 100%. Said, plugging in like to the way that the equivalent of how this works in Web2 social on YouTube, it might be like, hey, someone watches your video, they're not a super fan yet, but eventually they go down that hole of saying, okay, I really do like this creator, and then they might support you in like other things. And that's kind of how Zora is being built now in real time. But to your point on I guess, these flywheels, it's not just kind of what's being built on Zora, but I think it's what comes next. And I'm sure you're just as excited as we are in terms of how you start to plug creator coins in to other things and how you, on the base level, are trying to make them composable across all kinds of different things. Talk to me about that piece.
I think this is a really important thing for us, is that we believe that creator coins must be creator first. And what this means is that I think that thus far in crypto, people who have experimented with creator coins, the kind of default has been you might actually have to create a creator coin on every single platform. And now you have like all these different assets, and it's confusing to people who are trying to support you. It's confusing to you as a creator. And I think that is not a creator first model. It's like a platform first model.
Yeah.
And the thing about crypto is that we are a system that wants to build sovereign tools that give power back to the creators and the builders. And that means the way we build these systems must be creator first. And so we just launched creator coins in the Base app. But one of the things we also launched alongside that is the ability to import your existing creator coin into the Base app as well. And so this means that if you launched a creator coin on Zora or Retake or Echo or any of these other places, you're going to be able to bring that into the Base app. It'll be able to show up on your profile. You'll be able to pair your content with it, and you'll be able to build your whole creator kind of career on top of that creator coin rather than fragmenting attention, fragmenting the value. Now, I still think we have a lot more work to do on this. One of the things that I'm really excited about is expanding the aperture of what people think about as creator coins. For instance, I think about meme coins as like community creator coins, right? It's this asset that a whole massive community is paying attention to and then trying to create attention for. And they're creating posts, they're creating streams, they're creating blog posts, they're creating short form video. And I'm really excited to see folks use the same flywheel between content coins and creator coins with meme coins. And this is something that we're actually, alpha, going to be rolling out, I think, over the next week in the Base app, where you'll soon be able to also import any meme coin on your profile. And then you'll be able to create content paired with that meme coin so that if you love Toshi, you can start posting about Toshi and driving value back to Toshi. If you love Thank You Base God, you can shave your head, go fully bald, post the content, have it go viral, and that will drive value back to Thank You Base God. The idea that creator coins are different and kind of this thing that takes away from meme coins, I think it's kind of just confusion in the way we're rolling it out. These are the same things. It's just that one is for an individual and one is for a community. And the more we can give everyone these same powerful tools to create value in a flywheel, I think the better off this creator economy is going to be.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things where I guess we try and lean even harder into that too, in terms of Coinage being a community-owned media outlet, because it doesn't just accrue to just me personally. It accrues to our whole community of NFT holders who then became co-owners in a U.S. registered co-op that controls everything Coinage does. And you mentioned flywheels. That to me was my huge unlock moment. There's a moment in crypto right now that's happening with like DATs and Michael Saylor and like Bitcoin DATs and everything. I think we have a graphic of kind of this flywheel that he's kind of known for, which is like, okay, you basically create strategy, you go out there, you issue debt, you buy more Bitcoin, and your share price increases because now all of a sudden the price of Bitcoin's up, or at least that's the way that it's worked. And he stacked $30 billion. And for us, the unlock there was like, okay, a creator coin can be this vehicle to capture attention and be composable and plugged into all kinds of things, and a top of funnel thing for our community. And then we can use it in very interesting ways to start to create this attention flywheel, one of which, by the way, Jesse, you were instrumental in terms of when we were just getting started, back when we were kind of launching these NFTs. And I remember back then, it was 2003, so everyone's kind of got to remember the deep, dark crypto winter that was. And it was a huge moment because it was so important. And I got to give you credit for supporting people who were out there trying new things on Base at the time. It was still on ETH mainnet, but we're getting there to a big reveal on this stream in a second. But I just want to look back on that moment because it meant a lot to us. And obviously it was kind of a first foray into what can we do on chain. And you were one of the first people in crypto who minted. So I got to give you a shout out for this moment back in 2003 when you minted our NFT to unlock our
I love it. Do we have the moment?
I think so. Pretty sure. We gotta have you mint one of our NFTs too, because our whole idea was.
I'm ready. Can I do it? Can I do it right now?
I mean, we could do it right now. Technically,
is it like less than? Is it less than 60 seconds?
I think it is.
Or is it gonna be,
I think it is less than 60 seconds.
Where do I go? I'm like, here, let's do this literally right now. I have my wallet.
We can do it. We can do it. We can do it right now if we really wanted to. I mean, damn, bro, I was caught off guard.
Media/mint. Oh, I see it. A subscription member pass.
That's right.
I'm gonna click the mint button. I'm gonna connect my wallet. Coinbase wallet. I got to put in my password. That's going in there.
It's a live mint. I don't think we've ever had this before.
Mint subscriber membership pass. Confirm.
If this doesn't
that was less than 60 seconds.
See, there it was. It was less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, I just got my subscriber.
And now it's even better now because you mentioned the flywheel. And so this is what I'm excited about too, is that now as we're seeing this all work and all crank, and of course, obviously, yeah, sure, price going up is huge and I'm not going to discount that. That was really cool to see our creator coin go from 70K to, north of where it went. But even cooler to me is the composability of now being able to build on Base and say, hey, look, everyone who has a Coinage creator coin, you can use that to now actually mint a membership pass that lets you become a co-owner in the first community-owned media outlet built on
Yep.
chain. And as we have money brought in, because right now we're also selling ads, the one that you're seeing in the bottom right corner of our stream is actually from someone who bid on chain, on Base. We sold our ad space, and they bid using USDC on Base, and that money went into the Coinage DAO. And now, at the end of the year, as a co-op, we can pay dividends to people who are actually co-owning this with us. I think it's really cool what's happening right now.
Thank you, Harvest, for bidding and participating in this new creator economy that we're building. It's awesome. And yeah, I have two thoughts on that video. One is that, man, I was very skinny in that moment. That was like right when we were launching Base, and candidly, like I wasn't eating. And it's a little bit painful to watch those videos because I'm like, ooh, that was a hard time. The other thought that I have though is, I think it's indicative of the attitude that I've always tried to bring, which is, I'm just going to try whatever I possibly can at any given time to support creators. And back then it was, mint the Coinage NFT. But before that, it was, mint the open editions on Zora or the one of ones on OpenSea. I have been minting NFTs since I minted my CryptoPunk in the open edition mint, and finding ways to back creators through the last almost decade, or not, maybe not a decade, 8 years. 7 to 8 years. And at each point, my attitude has been, I'm going to try and use these systems to back creators. And I know they're imperfect, and I know we don't know all the answers, but the only way to learn and make them great is to use them. And I think now, 7 years later, and 2.5 years later from then, I feel like we're finally getting to the point where the systems are starting to work really well. Like creators are creating creator coins, and they're able to earn real money from it, and they're able to distribute it to their fans, and they're able to build new experiences around it. And that's letting them kind of take control of their creativity in a new way. The content coin flywheel is spinning in a way that lets collectors and folks bet on this virality of individual posts, but still drive value back to the underlying creator coins. We're seeing this ecosystem of products emerge around creator coins that let them use their creator coin for streaming or posting short form or posting long form written content on Paragraph. I think we're also going to soon start to see people using creator coins for token gating chat and for token gating events. And for letting people get access to merch and for buying tickets. We're also going to see people use creator coins for all sorts of economic freedom apps. Imagine letting creators borrow against their creator coin so that they can have access to capital, or letting them safely sell parts of their creator coin on a long time horizon in a way that doesn't negatively kind of impact the market, but still lets people kind of take a long-term position in the creator and support their work. And so I feel like we finally now have all of the pieces in place, and now it's kind of about polishing all the edges and then letting this kind of emergent ecosystem of products emerge around those pieces that really make this work great for creators.
I didn't, I guess before we started, I didn't ask if you have a hard out at exactly 30, but because I'll save some other things for later. But one of those pieces that I think is super interesting now, and again, how you pair what's happening in the creator economy built on Base with what Coinbase is unlocking, to me, it seems like one of the key things is if you have that distribution through the Coinbase side of things or the Base app, then you won't necessarily need to pay for getting distribution for tokens elsewhere. And you've kind of been hinting at this and going hard on listing fees and things, it seems like right now. And talk to me about that in terms of what the strategy is, because now all of a sudden, if you have Coinbase's distribution built plus on-chain mechanics that Base is doing, then suddenly, like for us personally, again, it's like we got hit up after Coinage blew up. It's like, hey, do we want to list this anywhere? It's like, but why would we pay to get listed somewhere when we already have this through the Coinbase app?
I think that this goes back to like mostly a philosophical belief that Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, holds, and that I also hold as well, which is that as we have more and more kind of things moving into the on-chain economy, the only fair way for exchanges to operate is to give users access to everything. And this is what we started to do with the kind of DEX integration on Base. They're going to be expanding that to other chains though too, Solana and others. And the goal is make it so that if there's something that is on chain, it is available on Coinbase. And I think that the thing that I'm really excited about is we're already starting to see how, as a result of that freedom, that is being introduced, because I fundamentally think it's about freedom. We are now seeing some of the what I think are like pretty bad practices around gatekeeping by centralized exchanges starting to come out into the open and start to be challenged. Because when you have the opportunity for your coin to be listed and available for free in a mainstream distribution surface like Coinbase, why would you go and pay 1, 5, 10% of your token supply to someone else to list it? And so what my hope is that comes as a result of this is that everyone moves towards freedom. Everyone moves towards a world where exchanges are a front end that are indexing all of these chains, that are indexing all the assets on them and making them available to their customers. Because at the end of the day, I think that freedom and that open access is going to lead to this global economy that, increases innovation, creativity, and freedom that we're all trying to build.
Absolutely. And that's, by the way, that's exactly kind of what happened. We flashed this on the screen a little bit ago, but it's just by happenstance that you're actually the guest that was on when we sold this tokenized NFT that harvest.art bought, because that's basically it. Is we have this auction tool. Shout out to GBM for helping to launch with us, because basically anyone can bid on the ad space as an NFT, use it, tell us what they want to put on the show, and then send it to us, and bada bing, bada boom. That's how harvest.art wound up here. And to your point, this is kind of disintermediate, and it's not just us at Coinage, but now we've got Thinking Crypto, we got the roll up. It's basically giving the ability to take back ownership in the creator economy that YouTube used to monetize and steal everything from creators. Instead, it's like, hey, you want to sell ad space? Sell it direct. Cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
And I think we're at like a very exciting time in the creator economy.
Freedom for creators, freedom for builders, freedom for investors, freedom for everyday people who deserve to have a better economy that works for them, that doesn't discriminate them based on where they live or where they were born or what phone they have. That is why we are doing what we are doing, to increase economic freedom all around the world. And it's so cool to see it showing up for all of these different types of people. But at the end of the day, it comes back to freedom.
Agreed. And in terms of, I guess this is our big announcement moment too, because now we're finally going to be turning our creator coin, the Coinage creator coin, into our own flywheel right now, actually, Jesse, just to throw this at you so you have an example when everyone asks, hey, what can you actually start to do with the creator coin? Well, luckily we got something for you to tell people, because we're basically opening up today the ability for people to use their Coinage creator coin that they've bought on Zora to now also mint one of our membership NFTs that people can use to co-own the first community-owned media outlet built on chain, which is cool. And they'll also be able to mint it at a 30% discount to what we actually sell it for normally on ETH. So there's a shout out to the Base community. And of course, after that happens, we only have 5,000 of these things, and we raise the price as mints come in. So kind of like Bitcoin, the more that people use our network, the more the price goes up. We never pre-minted anything. Basically a different thing. And then obviously, again, who knows what that does in terms of the supply and demand dynamics of Coinage. Of course, no future guidance here, not financial advice. But very interesting to think about different ways to now be able to plug creator coins into various different things that have been built on chain. So I'm excited.
100%. And I think this is the thing that we've seen, which is that ERC20s are like the most powerful, interoperable, composable primitive that then unlocks all these other things. So whether you want to, let people buy, real access to the Coinage co-op, or you want to token gate a fan experience, or you want to, airdrop to your most loyal folks. All of that is possible on top of this platform that the ERC20 creator coin provides. And so what we're focused on right now is getting those creator coins into the hands of creators in a way that's safe and trusted and works for them. And then supporting this ecosystem of creator products that are emerging that let creators leverage that creator coin to create content in a way that drives value back to it, and to use it across their entire portfolio of things to make it so they can have a more meaningful experience being a creator and connecting with their community. So we're really excited about it. It's still day one. It's still the very, very beginning of this journey. But I love seeing people like y'all pushing the boundaries of what's possible and innovating.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, and again, can't thank you enough. And just in terms of, I'm speaking for all builders here, not just for the Coinage community, but just in general, kind of seeing it finally start to click that, look, this is real. The attention economy, the creator economy is real. Attention and money are merging on the internet in this era of Web3. And the same disintermediation that happened in finance, I think, is going to be coming to the creator economy as well. And it's been super cool to see it all roll out and to see how kind of, Coinbase is leading the charge there too and integrating all this. But Jesse Pollak, can't thank you enough for coming on, man. I knew we only had 30 minutes, but we got to do this again sometime.
This is awesome. I'm excited, and
Thank you.
keep building, keep creating, stay based, everybody.
Appreciate it. We will try. We will continue. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
There.
We're going to continue on here too as well, because this is our first Zora stream, so we might as well just keep cranking. And also, I didn't want to do this live on the stream and potentially endanger that we might go down, but I do also want to put the link, as we were just sharing it, in terms of where to go to actually start to use your Coinage creator coin to plug into the ecosystem we've built here. I might as well do that now and put it in our Zora bio, because I was afraid if I did this live on air, it would just shut everything down. And I don't want to throw you under the bus there, Texas. I want to say, hey, this is your fault now, because it would have been my fault. And we're doing it live. And so anyways, let me just throw this in there. So anyone who's in the chat and asking right now, that's basically where you're going to go. But I do think that, as Jesse just said, there is a number of different things that are kind of becoming obvious for me as we see this all play out. The idea of just the massive liquidity unlock of the fire hose that is kind of how people who might not be so in the trenches, who might not be so Web3 that they're constantly asking you what the CA is. Some of this stuff, there might not be a CA if you're coming from Coinbase and you're just there and you only have dollars, like my parents, for example, who were asking, hey, what the hell is a Coinage creator coin? They just are just like, hey, can I buy this on Coinbase? And then that happened, and it was like, wow, that's a sudden on-ramp for a lot of people who might not be as in the trenches as we are. And so that was kind of cool to see. Plus, also, just the idea that I don't think people really wrap their brains around the idea of onboarding creators, and it's something that obviously is near and dear to our hearts at Trustless Media. The idea of onboarding a creator means you're onboarding their fans as well. So that is an exponential increase in terms of user growth. Normally, it's like you onboard one customer at a time, but really, if a creator and their fans come on chain together, you're integrating a creator and possibly millions, hundreds of thousands of fans in the same moment in time. So I really do think, to echo Jesse's point there too, tokenization of community in the creator economy is also happening in real time, and that scales exponentially. And if it's all tied to Zora, which it is, if you haven't watched our full episode, we kind of go through the dynamics of a token pair, including the creator coin plus a Zora token. That's another interesting dynamic that literally only now I'm seeing a few crypto reporters start to kind of wrap their brain around what that means in terms of content posts as well on Zora, which we've been experimenting with. So there's like a million different things at play here. And then, not to go back to it, Texas, but if we want to, I really do think people don't necessarily even understand what makes the Coinage creator coin different than all of the other creator coins that are out there now as well, which is important to flex on today's stream as we finally roll this link out there. We're going to be inviting 100 people, 100 mints of this flywheel, which is, again, you can use your Coinage creator coin, your Coinage, $ Coinage. We got to figure out how we're going to refer to these two different things here. You can use your dollar Coinage to mint at a 30% discount the Coinage Caucus NFT. Now, you can go back and look, and you can say, wait, NFTs? I thought those died 2 years ago. And the difference is we set up ourselves as a co-op. So you need the Coinage Caucus NFT to become a co-owner of Coinage. It lets you join our DAO co-op, which is where we all vote on things, how we want to manage this community-owned media outlet, which stories we cover, which guests we have on. Let me track all of that. And at the end of the year, as a U.S. co-op, we're allowed to pay a patronage dividend to active members. So I think that's a massive unlock. In fact, we became one of the first projects to pay out a distribution last year, which means that a lot of people are already in the green just based on that by itself. And again, that's not a guarantee. Got to see how things go. But at the heart of it is ownership. At the heart of it is actually letting yourself say, hey, I don't just own a coin. I'm actually a co-owner in something, which I think is massive. And I think that's really, really cool. And because we've done that, and because we didn't give any NFTs to KOLs, because we never really did any of those shenanigans, our NFT is actually up 400% since we launched. You can go back and look at that too, 0.07 ETH. And now trading on the secondary, 0.21, I think I looked this morning. And there's only 5,000 of those. And guess what? You'd be paying 0.25 if you minted on ETH right now. But for those who have the Coinage creator coin, you can mint at a 30% discount and just use your creator coins. What that means is the Coinage DAO is going to be pocketing a lot of coinage, which is good because that's what we're here to do. You can think of us, and you can think of me, as the Michael Saylor of the Coinage creator coin, and we're coming for your coins. But I also do think we also want you in our community. So so use it to mint and join us here at Coinage, because the more the merrier. It's actually quite fun. We've got a lot of people in our token gated NFT Telegram talking about what things to do. A lot of people smarter than me. And I don't know if Jesse's going to have time to mint after today, but I hope to see him in there as well, along with all the other people that have been there since 2022 when we started this experiment, including a lot of those people who were first in who are now on the board, which is very different than maybe some of these other NFT DAOs in terms of like, hey, let's just choose this guy who has a lot of money or some huge clout. Nah. These are just random dudes on the internet who found us and minted an NFT. I don't really know them, but it's cool that they're in here with us now. And so I really do want to give a shout out to some of the other people as well. We stand on the shoulders of giants. The co-founder of Constitution DAO is a lot of kind of why we arrived at this moment as well, in terms of seeing people come together to crowdfund and get something off the ground and bid on a replica U.S. Constitution. $40 million was a lot of money back then, still is. Coinage certainly does not have $40 million necessarily, but every mint that happens goes into the DAO, and we steer everything together. So I think it is, at the very least, transparent and a DAO co-op built on chain, and everything we're doing. Would love to have you here. So if you have already, maybe you got a stash of it. If you already have the Coinage Creator Coin, we're going to update in our Zora bio. We'll put the link in terms of where to go to access this, and also want to give a shout out to Unlock. Julian from Unlock has been with us basically since we met back in Brooklyn here at a live peer event with a bunch of other Web3 builders. Shout out Toady Hawk, as he was there too. And now finally here we are, basically 2 years later, and Julian's still in the trenches with me trying to help me get this Unlock checkout flow today set up so anyone can go and use their Coinage Creator Coins to mint a Coinage Caucus Pass and join our community-owned show as a co-owner. You can say you co-own something. Get into our Telegram if you haven't yet. And this is the exciting part. As those mints come in, you can see the Coinage DAO climb the ranks. I don't know where we are over here. Let's go over to the Strategic Reserve site, shall we? Let's bring this up, Texas. I don't know. Fabda, if you're out there, I don't know how often this site gets updated, if it's in real time or not, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on where we are. We're back on this list over here. Sure, we're not Bitmine. I'll give you that. We don't have $10 billion worth of ETH. But as those ETH mints come in, as Coinage stacks up, we'll see where we land as this flywheel continues to churn. And of course, we'll be equal owners in what we do here. So thank you to everyone for watching in on our first Zora live stream. This has been quite fun, I think, personally. We're going to be doing more of these and covering all the big news. If you're new here, if you're just tuning in because Jesse had talked about us, feel free to head to coinage.media to learn more about what we're all about and learn more about our project as we head into year 4 doing this. And as we head into year 4 and have an NFT that's up 400%. So I'm not going to take a victory lap on that, but it is a bit different than maybe some of the other NFT projects out there. Our Zora link is updated now. So I've got nothing more to say to you other than the fact that the creator economy is coming on chain, and Coinage is proud to be leading the charge. Proud to have so many smart people in our community, and hopefully we'll see you in ours as well soon. If you have any questions, hit us up. Go to coinage.media. You'll find everything there. Or hit me up. Zigu's on Twitter, on X. Shout out to Jesse. Thanks for the time, as always. We'll see you around the world of Web3 very soon. I'm Zach Guzman, signing off.